Welcome to another episode of Purple State Media. We're gonna get into this little debate about the government and have the government turned on black women. There was like 300,000 black women laid off in the past couple of months, and let's get into it. Let's see what ABC got to say about it.
Now, where staggering numbers have been released surrounding black women in the labor force. A new report shows more than 300,000 black women have left the workforce in just the last several months. That's according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Joining me now is gender economist Katika Roy to break this all down and why they're leaving. Katika, thank you so much for being with us. You recently wrote an article where you say that this isn't happening by accident. Why do you think it is happening?
This is happening because of cuts to public sector positions. So if you look at the federal labor force, Black women make up just over 12% of the federal labor force. It's about double their representation in the labor force overall. And when you have targeted cuts up to 50% in organizations such as the Department of Education and HHS, you're not just trimming the fat, you're actually cutting the economic backbone for Black women.
Wow. And so, what are some of the spillover effects from all of this?
Well, one of the things that we know is that there is a connection between women's labor force participation and GDP. So just Black women's labor force participation has dropped by just over 2% in the last 3 months. And that has sucked over $37 billion out of US GDP. So this is the economic cost of gender policy ignorance.
This is really fascinating because do you think that most people are
It definitely not a gender thing. It's kind of like, cause black man is like unemployed, like 7 point something percent. Black women at like 6.4%. So for them to make it pretty much a black women issue, it's not. Um, will you be whether it be someone that got hired then laid off later after a couple of years, or someone that never got hired in the first place? That is black men for a lot of black men. That's the case. So to me, it's kind of like not an issue. It's not a thing. You had the job for a couple of years. Hopefully, you saved up. 'Cause I know I applied for like some government positions, and they pretty much told me like, yeah, you did good on all the tests and stuff. You know your shit, but we're not. They're not gonna hire you, a straight black man, for the position. So, thank you, but no, thank you. And this came from a recruiter or whatnot. They just straight up told me they're not gonna hire you. Let's start pretending to be gay or something. That's about the only way I'm gonna get in. They don't usually hire men for those positions. Now we remember that, and that was like younger when I first tried to move to Atlanta or whatnot. Um, yeah, so the federal government definitely discriminated against black men, even in heavily Democratic president and Congress people. Yeah, so that's the thing. They purposely push black women. And I felt like that was to destroy the black family, and it worked perfectly. But anyway, let's get another take from Roland Martin. He got the conspiracy theories for days. Let's hear his conspiracies.
We're seeing a massive loss of black women in the labor force, 38,000 in April, more than 100,000 in the last couple of months. There are a variety of reasons being cited. Let's go right to Morgan Harper, of course. She's an economist. She's also the director of policy and advocacy at the American Economic Liberties Project in Columbus, Ohio. Glad to have you on the show, Morgan. So what the hell is going on?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, this isn't really surprising, Roland, because as we've been talking about the last couple of months, we know that Doge has resulted, even if Doge was a fake project in a lot of ways, it has resulted in real job losses, not in the name of efficiency, just in the name of ruining people's lives, it seems like.
No, it's definitely efficiency. Everybody know the government is the poorest ran business out there. You got all these people and everything's still slow as shit. So it definitely needed to happen. They needed to clean house. So now maybe people will actually work faster and harder. Then slower hire other people on to help out. But the government definitely needed a reset. I remember talking to some of my coworkers when I worked at Amazon. Like the only reason people want to get into IT, the government, cause they really don't do shit for the most part. from what I heard. And I talked to some people that work there, and they looked at the IT people that just walk around not doing anything. They'll probably work on like 2 computers a day, and that's it. So yeah, it definitely was a thing that needed to be corrected. A lot of overpaid people. I ain't gonna say all of them, but it definitely a big percentage. But I feel bad for the people that actually worked hard and got let go and got caught up in the mix, you know.
And who are a lot of federal employees? We have a lot of Black women that are part of the federal labor force. And so that's going to hit us directly. The other thing, and another theme we've talked about, is the ripple effects of some of these federal policies and the changes in things like DEI. They don't just stay in the federal government. So add on to top of the federal job losses, we have a lot of private sector companies that are saying, oh, we don't have to care about DEI anymore either. And we can cut back on some of the money that we were spending.
And another thing with DEI, I never was with the DEI stuff. I got hired. I always had a job before DEI. I felt like the DEI, only thing it did make my job harder, because it was just hiring anybody and everybody that didn't know what they were doing, and you pretty much doing the work for them, you know, and they just collecting a paycheck. So I never cared about that. And like I said, DEI didn't do nothing for Black men at all. It pretty much like for women and rainbows. That's it. Women and rainbows. That who it was for. It wasn't for anybody else. I don't know not one Black man that got hired because of DEI or got a good position, unless he was a rainbow, if you know what I mean. So that's that. So I could care less about DEI, to be honest with you. I work my ass off my whole life, and I get results from it. So that's that.
Full-time employees that we had working in that area also tends to have a lot of Black women that were working in that field. So, it's a compounding effect for sure. I don't know that we have a ton of immediate solutions here, but for sure we need to be sounding the alarm on the nature of the problem.
See, now I'm confused because a bunch of
The solution is go get a degree or go get some other skill that's in demand. You can go to CDL, drive trucks. You know, you can go work construction. You can go do some IT work that got a lot of physical aspects to it. Cause AI gonna take all the fancy jobs that used to be there. They not coming back. So you're gonna have to find something else to do. But what you got to do with your hands and pretty much get your hand dirty. You go be a mechanic. You can do heating and air. What is there? You can do plumbing, electrician. All that stuff gonna coming back, and all those jobs you can pretty much make $100K. But all these fancy degrees, everyone pretty much screwed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can wait on it if you want. It's not coming back. You be waiting forever. All right, let's see. I'm going ahead and close this out, but let's see what Corey got to say about all this. All right, Corey, what you got going on?
In light of everything that's going on with the sisters being put out in the cold as far as it go with the workforce, and I hope I said that in a way that's not scandalous, just honest. The sisters, all those jobs they used to give the sisters in the government, they have a regime now that ain't having it. So a lot of the sisters are out in the cold.
Over 300,000 Black women have left the workforce, according to MSNBC, and it is not a coincidence. We have seen the cuts that the federal government has been making, specifically across the Department of Education, Department of Health and Human Services, and we have seen the cuts happen. We've also seen the cuts happen over the last few months, specifically at the federal level and also across the private sector due to DEI. And according to this article, the participation rate has now dropped below Latinas for the first time in over a year.
There was this girl, she was describing it in a way where I like the word she used. She was like, us lioness, we won't be out in the cold. We have family structure. We know how to take care of a home, to take care of a man. Those are the lioness in her way of putting it. I thought it was a great way to put it. But the hyena, That's what I want to talk about. What are we to do?
Okay, I ain't gonna keep going on and on with Corey, but I'm just gonna say this, man. It's crazy now. With AI, you got to find a team of people that you can work with, and you look out for each other. Cause if you don't, you can be screwed. So I basically look out for people that look out for me. I don't care if you're white, black, blue. You know what I'm saying? Straight, gay. Where you from? Woman, male, female. You look out for me. I'm gonna look out for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. 'Cause I don't talk to some women in the past where I do for them. I'm always there for them. I financially look out for them, and they won't even cook a meal, you know what I'm saying? So, and do absolutely nothing. So, I'm not doing that anymore. You do for me, I do for you. You're not doing for me, I'm not doing for you. I don't want to hear no sad story because that shit ain't gonna work on me no more. So, with that being said, man, just be strong, take care of yourself, put yourself first, we'll put God and your kids. Put God first, your kids second, then whoever else prioritize you, that who you look out for, that who you put third, you know what I'm saying? So, and what's up, man? I'm just gonna try to keep this video kind of short. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Yeah, man, this stuff about to get crazy now. And like I said, it's not just black women; it's everybody. Like I said, black men is like unemployment rate like 7 point something percent, but they don't. Nobody cares about men in general, especially black men. So when women get hit a little bit, it's front page news because they what the Democrat push, Yeah. So anyway, y'all hold it down and check out another episode of Purple State Media. Holler at y'all later. Peace.